I hope we all had a great day. How was our day? Hope it was good. Yeah, it's good to have everybody here again for another time of learning. Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, everybody. Welcome, Elizabeth. Welcome, newly to our classes. So you might want to go check all the videos we've done before, or classes basically we've done before. Well, thank you. All right. So yesterday we talked about introduction to UX writing, and we defined what UX writing is about. Who's a UX writer? Also, got to know the differences between a UX writer and a copywriter, right? And from your learnings yesterday, I just wanted to share one or two things that you learned from yesterday's class before we proceed with today's class. Yes, you can still join. Just make sure that you go back and watch all the videos, all the classes we've done basically on that product design. Thank you so much, Ajoke. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Elizabeth. The two Elizabeths. Elizabeth Square. All right. So while we're waiting for you, while I'm waiting for you to, or while we're waiting for you to drop your learnings from yesterday, let's just dive into today's um, topic. I feel like what we've been talking about from Tuesday, then yesterday and today is really, really like for me, I find it interesting anyways. Right. So today we'll be talking about designing for user delight. Designing for user delight. We're going to be talking around micro interactions, we're talking about animations, and we're talking about thoughtful design. So let's get into it. So at the end of today's lesson, we're going to explore what design for delight really means, the power of micro interactions, how how animations had emotions, thoughtful touches that surprises and engage users, right? So let's, like as usual, let's do our icebreaker. The icebreaker for today is design your dream app. So the instruction is that if you could create an app to solve one everyday problem, like one everyday problem, what would it be? So question around what problem would that app solve? The app that you want to solve, what problem will it solve? Who would use it? Who are your target audience? And what's like the cool thing or public feature, highlight on a feature the app could do, basically. So let's quickly have that. Let's quickly have our icebreaker. I want us to drop our responses on the chat. If you could create an app to solve one everyday problem, what would it be? And what problem would it solve? Who would use it? What's one cool thing that the app would do? So Joseph says that he wishes to create an app that can contact the nearest ambulance within seconds in case of an emergency. I think there are apps like that. No, maybe not particularly for that means, but there should be something around that. Maybe an health tech company where you can quickly. I feel like there are numbers already, anyways, but it's a good listen where you can quickly call the numbers. But I feel like the app will actually have different options of emergency numbers. Yeah, like numbers that you can call or different hospitals. I like that idea, Joseph. Okay, so let's have more people. Let's have more people. Let's have more people. All right, we've moved to, so for people that are still answering questions, answering the question for what we learned yesterday, we've moved to the icebreaker, which is around design your dream app. So if you had to create an app to solve one day problem, what would it be? And the questions around what problem would it solve, the particular app you want to create, what problem will it solve, who will use it, what's one cool thing that the app could do. Someone says that Elizabeth says that she would create a transportation app for students where students can use to pay bus drivers. Okay. Emmanuel says that an app where users can save, invest, and manage their phone at the same time. Okay. Simon says that he will create an app that allows users to know how a product looks on them before purchase. For instance, a makeup product. Woman can use the app. Nice one. Um, what else? Okay, so let's move. Thank you for those that have done the icebreaker. I know some people are still joining, but thank you so much to everybody that actually did the icebreaker. So you can move to the next. Okay. Someone says I would create an app that connects tenants direct. Oh my god, with no agent. I Let me not say anything. That you would create that, like, where tenants will meet the landlord directly. They don't need to even have physical conversation. Just on the app, they'll chat, and from there, without tenancy. Wow, that's interesting. So, okay, Victoria says that an educational app, it will have an habit, a built-in system with tips, rewards, an app lock timer that limits access to distracting apps during study. Nice one, everybody, so far. Someone says an app that can generate free internet. Oh my god. Okay, app that delivers quick medical attention, a banking app, and the list goes on and on. Well done, everybody. Well done. Well done. I see you all. So let's discuss designing for user delight. What is delight in UX? Delight is the emotional response a user feels when interacting with a product or your digital products. It could be a mobile app, it could be a website, right? It could be so what's like the emotional response? It could be a friendly animation, it could be a playful message after the user completes a task. It could be a thoughtful touch that actually makes life easier. So delight basically makes users smile. It makes them feel seen and want to come back. I don't know if you've interacted or you used website that it feels like they know you, like they know about you from the way they welcome you. Welcome, Folashade. We are glad to have you back. Like the things they say, Folashade, start investing. Like just personalize things. It makes you feel like you are being seen, you are being heard, that somebody knows you or cares about you, basically, right? So delight in design actually makes users smile, makes them feel seen, and also want to come back. All right. So let's start with something simple. UX means user experience, basically, how someone feels when they use an app, a website, or product. Now, delight in itself or delight in UX is now when the feelings goes from just okay, maybe there was an interaction or probably the person was trying to do something, then you now put okay after the person is done. Instead of just of putting okay, you could add delight to the UX, and you could say something like, wow, that was nice. Probably they completed a task. So imagine I completed a task on a particular website and I just see okay. But imagine I now like use another app after completing and say, wow, that was nice. Or probably I drew something or did something. Maybe you requested me to do something, I now did it. Person has said okay. Or let's just even use human to human. So imagine that you did something for a friend and you said, hello friend, let's use hello Femi, Olufemi. I'm done with what you asked of me. And the next thing person says okay. Okay, what's okay? But imagine that you now tell your friend, hi, I'm done, blah blah blah, blah. And they say, oh wow, that was nice, or that was good, that was quick, that was awesome, that was really. But you did something for somebody, and the person say, okay. I'm like, oh, okay, what? Like, just okay. I did like I went far and beyond to make sure that I'm able to solve this thing or to do this thing for you, and you're not telling me that okay. I know I will not. No, no, no. You do not want to like. But imagine the person tells you like, oh wow, that's nice. That was really good. Well done. You did well. You can do more. Something like that. Or imagine that you are married and you give your partner maybe something, maybe on Valentine's Day, you now give your partner um a gift, or she looks at it or he looks at it and you're like, okay, please just tell me, how will you feel as that person that actually gave somebody a gift at that moment? But imagine you gave your partner a gift and the partner, wow, babe, this is beautiful, I love it. There's there's this excitement, this is delight that you want to do more. So you can imagine that you building in UX, building delightful product in design, or designing products, and you did something that will wow, maybe you are building an app or an education app, or maybe something like UXL or Audacity. And after the person completes a task or a lesson, you're like, wow, you're awesome, you can do better, blah 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 blah. Or the person, or imagine that after doing a lesson, that's like, okay, oh, so like basically I'll be like, this thing is not yet to encourage me. I don't think these people want me to do this thing. But imagine that like backing you up with something to encourage you and to get better at. So that's basically it. Just very, very in simple English, just for us to understand. Right. So it's the little extra magic that makes using the product feel fun, pleasant, or even joyful. Right. So example, let's use a food delivery app. You click order and suddenly a cute little chef, maybe a chef art, does a quick dance. When you click order, you now see like, so like an animation, or probably a an illustration, or probably an email, or GIF dancing that to like to be excited that, oh, you have ordered. Or when you order, you see a happy message that says, yum, your food is here, enjoy every bite. You smile, right? Like you be excited, like there's this smile, or you blush depending on whatever. So that's delight. It doesn't just do the job, it makes you feel good while you are doing it. Like imagine you excel, or Duolingo, you're learning French or learning a language. There's a way that they put in uh stuff that encourage you to get better, or to want to go more into the app, to do more encouraging words, words that are delightful to your art, right? So in simple words, delight is when a product makes you smile, feels thoughtful, like it understands you, add a surprise or nice touch that wasn't expected, right? So imagine, before some people drag me that um since 1990 something, single people never rest. So imagine your partner, you're married, and your partner actually bought you a gift on Valentine's Day. You got the gift, then you smiled, number one. Then you now saw it was like personalized gifts. I don't know those that love personalized gifts. You saw it and it's personalized, as if like maybe you're married for 3 years or so, but it's as if you people have known yourself forever. and he gave you something personalized, beautiful, and you thought like, wow, this is thoughtful. This guy really understands me, right? Then imagine he now added like a surprise again to it. So I feel like when you smile or probably the thing feels thoughtful, you would on his own. It's not like I'm not saying that you should be doing when you give or whatever, but I'm saying that there's going to be like this thoughtfulness that if this guy is doing birthday, I'm going to spoil him, or if this guy is doing this, there's this excitement that I you there's a way you feel basically. Don't let me dwell on relationship too much before some people will drag me. All right. So why is delight important in design? Let's break it down with real life simple example. Delight isn't just about making things look nice. It's about making people feel good. Yes, it's normal for you to get a gift from your partner, blah blah blah. But imagine you now bought something that is so thoughtful, something that you actually really need and you didn't tell him about it. Like, so it's about making people feel something good when they use your product. And guess what? That feeling can actually help your product succeed. You build a particular product, and whenever they complete a task, there's always an encouraging word. Or you tell, oh, you are amazing today. Or whenever they log into your app, the first thing they see, hello, beautiful Folashade. Like you just brought, oh, why say I'm beautiful? Or welcome Folashade, how are you doing today? Imagine you log into your app and they're telling you, welcome Folashade, how are you doing today? App is asking you that kind of thing. So it actually leads to, with if you build for delight or design for delight, it actually help your product succeed. It's one of those things, right? See someone that one of the first thing why delight in design is very important is that it encourages loyalty. So think about it. If your app feels smooth and even maybe your app feels smooth, friendly, and even fun, won't people want to come back? I'm just asking you. They will want to come back. Everything about your app is friendly. Everything about your app is fun. Even with it, you can even be gisting your friend about that. Guy, I use this particular app and it told me something that I should do. I think piggy bank, they do something like that. There's this notification you get on your phone. If you're using piggy bank or carrywise, when they're maybe doing trends or publish maybe an activity or an event is happening, there's a way they use words that you want to either go to the app or see what is happening, right? You want to continue to use the app, right? So example is you use a budgeting app that gives you little, you are doing great. You budget your money with that budgeting app and it tells you are doing great. You'll be gingered. You'll be like, okay, imagine this app is telling me I'm doing great. So every time you save money, it tells you are doing great. Every time you had money, it tells you are doing great. All right. So you will likely stick with the app instead of one that feels cold or boring. Maybe you use a particular app and it's just boring but you have to use a particular app and it makes you feel like I belong here. It makes you feel like, oh, these people are so thoughtful, these people know me, that kind of thing. All right. So another importance of designing for user delight is people don't remember what a product does, but most time they remember how it made them feel. Were they frustrated? Were they excited? So, for instance, an app that remembers your name and says, welcome Fola Shade, or welcome Fola, how may I help you today? Or how may I be of help to your life? Or how are you doing today? Something like that. If it makes you feel more personal than one that you just open and you just say welcome. I'm not saying welcome is bad, but I'm just saying that you to compare one that say welcome or welcome, that's all, welcome back. I want to say welcome back, Fola. So I will say that in if you have to do like an equation, delight equals human touch equals feels personal and caring. All right. So I think I saw a question. I wanted to answer it. Is delight in UX part of inclusivity? Oh my God, I said inclusivity. So yes, I would say yes. It's 100% part of it. So when we design like delightful experience, we are not just trying to make things look cute or fun. We are actually saying, I see you, I care about you, I care about how you feel. I want this something around, I want this experience for you to be comfortable, or I want it to be joyful. I want it to be easy no matter who you are, regardless of who you are. Do you get? All right. So inclusive delight actually means that you use animations and micro interactions that doesn't confuse people. You write messages that are warm, that are human, not big grammar that someone will have to go and use dictionary to understand. I hope you got that. We're going to get, I'm so sure somebody heard me say micro interaction and animation. We're going to get to that part soon. So don't worry. All right. So the third thing is that it makes your product stand out. There are many apps that actually do the same thing, but delightful touches makes yours special. Example is two to-do list app. One is plain. Let's say we have two different to-do list app. Then one is plain. Then the other ones celebrate your small wins with maybe a dancing card when you complete a task. Please, which one will you remember? All right. So delightful equals unforgetfulness or unforgettable. People choose you over others. So when you build the delight, people don't forget, but they get to choose you over others. I hope they are with me. The fourth thing is that it increases word of mouth emotional. So when people love an experience, they naturally talk about it. I don't know if you have these particular apps that you will just be gisting with your friends that, guess what? I use this particular app and it does this, like it does this. Anytime I blah blah blah, you start gisting with your friends. Like before you know it, you have become ambassador of that app because you literally talk about it. You literally talk about it all the time. So when people love an experience, they naturally, it's a natural thing. I don't want to use relationship again before some people, let me just continue. I'll not use the example that's in my mind. All right. It's just like when you love, maybe you go to a restaurant and the way the customer service, they came, I'm sorry, I said customer service, people are taking your order, they came, hello ma'am, or hello sir, welcome to the SA restaurant. What would you like to order? And they offer you the menu. Like, how will you feel? Or let's see another restaurant that come. They not said, welcome. Please, what do you want to order? Like, will you in your church mind, in your mind of mind, actually go back to the one that tell you that welcome? What would you like to order? And just drop the thing. Or the one that says, hello, welcome ma'am to DSA restaurants. What would you like to order? And gives you the menu like very softly. You will even tip that person, even without asking the person. Like, even without the person asking you to tip them, you will tip them. So it just feels like that. Just have that picture too for your app when you're creating it. So for example, you discover an app that lets you track your goals and it shares you for every step of the way. You will probably say, guys, you need to try this app. It's so motivating. Maybe you discover an app that allows you to track your goals well, and after every time you are able to maybe achieve one of the goals or part time, it just encourages you. You will tell people. In fact, if all your friends if you have 7 friends, at least 5 of them will use that app because I've had, when I started using piggy bank, do you know how many people I have onboarded through me? Let me not say, because I'm not ambassador for piggy bank. All right, I'm carry wise as well. Like, basically, it's even to my personal things. Maybe I get a dress, or I make my hair or something. There's a way I make it, like I talk about it, or I make people feel that they want to ask, who did this for you? Who did that for you? So that's it. So, and that person is just somewhere there seated. And me, I'm doing free marketing. The person did not send me message. So that's how you should have those things in mind when you're building your product. All right. So delight equals free marketing from happy users. They are always excited to tell you about what they use, the app they use, how it made them feel. All right. So in simple words, delight is when a product, delight is like adding seasoning to food. You are cooking food, you now added seasoning, or you added extra salt, right? So you've done your jollof rice, but imagine you not had Maggi and salt. And it's looking it's looking so yummy and all that, but you forgot to add Maggi and salt. Please, when we taste it, what the taste going to be like? So think about it. So delight is like adding seasoning to food. The food, that is your product, might work just fine, but the right sprinkle of thoughtfulness, of fun and care, that's what gets people hooked, smiling and talking about it. Your goal, you are not going to be everywhere that they use your product. You might not even know the user, or even know where they live or who they are, but there's always something that lingers in it. Like, you just think about it. I want to use DSA app. Do you know what DSA app is? Like, what it looks like? It's so beautiful. I love when you do a particular thing, how something will come out and dance for you or something like that. All right. So now, what are the key ingredients? We'll be talking about. I've used jollof rice as an example. That's adding like your seasoning to the jollof rice. Now, what are now the key ingredients? You know, there are a lot of ingredients that makes up your jollof rice. A lot of things. You have to use curry, thyme, rosemary, depending on if it's you're cooking concoction or you're cooking the real jollof, Nigeria jollof rice. You get it. So what are the key ingredients of designing for user delight? 3 key ingredients. Number 1, micro interactions. Number 2, animations. All of you that are using crayfish inside jollof rice, no, it's wrong. It's wrong. But let's move on. So thoughtful design, that's the third ingredient, right? So now let's talk about the micro interactions. So micro interactions are the tiny little moments in a product that happen when you do something, like when you tap or you swipe or you click or you type. Those little interactions that happen, those little moments, like things that just either pop up or just occur. So they are not really big features, but they are the small reactions. These small reactions when you tap something, when you tap, maybe you are using a product, you tap on it, there's this reaction you get. Or when you swipe like to the next, or when you like a post, for instance, on Instagram. All right. I'm looking at people's comments, but I will not be distracted by that. So, there are small reactions that help you feel like the app or website is alive and they are listening to you. think of them like seasoning in food. People are saying that looks like I like food because I'm using example of food. Fear God. Just a pinch, but it changes everything. I like good food, but I'm not a foodie anyways. All right, so let's use like real life example you have seen, so you'll not be wondering, okay, what are the small interactions that Folashade has been talking about? What do they look like? All right, so let's look at real life example that you have seen before. All right, action. The action, let's say for instance you tap like on Instagram. If you are watching this with your laptop and you have a phone, go to Instagram and like a particular post. There's this art pop-up, like there's this pop-up that happens, like the heart when you click on the love, when you tap on the love and the like, that love shape on Instagram. When you click on it, the heart pops up briefly. That is interaction. That thing that happened when you tap. If like I said, if you are not using your phone for watching this lecture, go on Instagram and like the post, somebody's post. You will see that the art will pop up briefly, very sharply. That is micro interaction. Another thing is when you type a password. Like for instance, you are typing a password. Now something can show, a bar can show how strong it is. That's another micro interaction. If for instance, if you wait, maybe you perform an action, then you're waiting for the page to load. So sometimes you get to see like the page is either spinning like this, or it's spinning like, depending on the progress animation. That's another micro interaction. So you can see that it's things that they are happening. So imagine that you want to you just tap like and it does not even show anything. I wonder, did he like, or did not like, or like there's this, even some people, I usually sometimes just go on Instagram doing like this because of that love pop up, like because it interests me. All right, so when you upload a file, for instance, it shows progress. So imagine that you upload a file and you don't even know if nothing is happening, and you just see uploaded just like that. It's like, when did he? But you're seeing like the progress is going little by little, is moving. Or when you toggle a switch, it slides with a soft click sound. You know that it doesn't pim, but there's that sound, pim. Like especially if your voice, I say voice sound, this thing is on, all those things. So there are things that we actually see that we have experienced before in our daily apps or website. So for instance, I downloaded it, it's actually not working, I don't know. So for instance, when you click on, for instance, if you're using a website, you now click over on, like maybe your cursor is on this submit, there's this over effect that it shows another color. Or when you click something and it shows you tick, but it's not showing here. Or when you enter a password, you can see that it shows you like this is strong enough, it passes. It's going, it's going, it's going, it's going, it's going. Or when you click on tap, there's this micro interaction that happens. I hope your app saying, hey, I saw that, good job. They make your products feel alive, feel responsive and friendly. You're not wondering that you uploaded something and nothing is happening. And it's as if magic happened. You just created the note. That kind of thing. So what are the importance of micro interactions? Number one, so we are not just doing all this thing for fun. We are doing it because they also have importance. And one of the things is that they guide users. They help users know what is happening, e.g., the loading state. Success. Is this success? Right? They create delight. Like a little bounce, a pop, or animation can like the user know an action was received. So when I like that post, it shows me that, oh, this is actually worked. Right? In a nutshell, all the English I've been speaking, micro interactions equals tiny reactions that happens when a user does something when sorry tiny reactions that happen when a user does something, and they make the experience cleaner, smoother, and more enjoyable. All right. So you know that I will always give you class activity. All right. So I want you to let's do we have like 5 to 10 minutes to do this. I want everybody to participate. As usual, I'm going to drop your answer on the chat. So sports, that's the title of my class activity, is spot that micro interaction. So pick 3 apps or websites you use often. Write down one interaction you notice in each. So for instance, if you use Kuda, you notice Kuda Bank 1. If you use uh Reliance Health HMO, if you're a subscriber or an enrollee, you use it, you write number 2. Number 3, maybe Child Deck or Lovo or Duolingo or whatever app, just 3. Either it can be a website, it can be an app, you can mix it and write one. So for instance, if you write Kuda, you write one micro interaction you noticed and what happened. So you can see the way this table is. The name of, for instance, I wrote the name of my website is Instagram. So what did I do? When I liked a post, like for instance, likes a post, what micro interaction did I see? I see a art briefly pops up. So can we do that in 5 to 10 minutes? I'm waiting for us. I want everybody to participate. Let me set a timer. So let's do that ASAP. Do we get that? What I asked us to do. Don't write 1, 3, and write it once. Write it once. Don't write 1 and drop, then 2, drop, 3. No, write it 3 once. Please, let's do that. So people that have dropped 1, go back and go and edit it. Don't just write 1, write 3. 3. Follow the table. Follow the table. So if you're writing Instagram, write what you did and the micro interaction you saw. Write the second one and the third one. So let's do that. Don't write just 1. Write the 3 at once. Don't drop it so that People are using my, you're not supposed to use my example. I already use Instagram. So use another one. So when you do on WhatsApp, when you do a voice note, what happens? What micro interaction do you see? I'm reading your responses to the class activity. When you're not doing- It doesn't have to be just the like button. There are other things. All right, it looks like kids saying some questions. Hmm. Thank you. Well done, everybody. Following. Hmm. All right, let's stop here so that we can continue. Thank you very much. So the next activity is creative thinking. So we're going to let me flex your imagination. So think of a boring interaction in an app, like when you click submit or next, and write down how you will add delight using a micro interaction. For instance, submitting a form. So when you're submitting a form, your delightful micro interaction idea will be a tiny confetti burst and well done message after submitting. So also suggest um, words and how you can actually make those words delightful. It looks like some people are still on the first. You have moved to the second though. Victor says, "Oh, nice. Sladio gives a World Cup." Victor says, "Submit a hand clapping when you submit." Yeah. So when they submit, instead of just say submit, that's all. It should be like a micro interaction. Thank you. Ah, what am I saying? I want to put a woman cartoon suddenly come out from behind the side and use. Don't worry, we are getting somewhere. Sometimes you don't have to do so much actually. Adding love or celebration emojis after submitting. Mm-hmm. Thank you. Well done. Well done, everybody. You guys have done so well. So now, what makes a good micro interaction? Number one, the trigger, something that starts the interaction, e.g., when you're clicking a button or trying to type on a text field. Another thing is feedback, a visual response to the user, e.g., color change. You don't expect, if you want people to hover on something, you know that this button is active. For instance, we are using a blue button, then they should see another, either a darker shade or something, depending on what your brand style is. So you don't expect that they over and they're still seeing the same color, right? So rules, what happens next? after something is loading. So what's that thing that happens? Then loops and modes. Does the interaction micro interaction repeat? Is there a state change? Is there where it goes from active to clicked to over or pressed? Are there states? All right. So designing micro interactions is Figma. Number one, for you to design micro interaction in Figma, you need to use Smart Animate. It works when elements between frames are similar, e.g., same name, different position or size. We're going to get to that part when you are doing prototype. Yes, you'll be taught. So you see how to understand it better, how you can do smart animation. So this is just a theory part, but when we are still going to talk about it in one of our classes and see how it actually works on Figma. So the smart animate is ideal for transitions, for icon shift, and smooth feedback. Example, the button over effect. I don't know if you have used a button before, and when you hover on it, it shows you another color. Or the frame. So let's say, for instance, your button is green or is gray, depending on what. Then when you hover, maybe it now shows green. So while hovering, that's why I said that on Figma, there's a way we do that in animations or interactions. How you can make your button be on over states, how it looks on clicked. Like this, we call something smart animates when we are prototyping. So we are going to get to that part, so don't worry. All right. Number one, another two is component variants. It's great for states like your buttons, the default, there's the over, there's the clicked, right? There's also inactive, depending on what your style guide or design system. Then the input field, which shows the empty state, the focus state, when it's filled, when it's inactive, or depending on the state. So you combine with Smart Animate in prototype mode. We are going to talk about prototype later in one of our classes, so don't worry. Number So use icons. Sorry about that. Use icons that animate. E.g., there's something we call Lottie Files plugin. Try emojis or motion text for feedback. Animate loading indications, 3 dots, bouncing icons, rotating loaders. So when you get this slide, you're going to be able to understand and follow the instruction to actually do it on Figma. All right. Can you hear me now? I'm back. I think my network messed up at some point. So what are the tools for and plugins to actually do the micro interactions we've been talking about? The tools and plugins are to use for micro interaction. Number one, our Figma, your Figma tool. So it's the most beginner friendly and widely used UI UX design tool. Micro interactions can be stimulated using the smart animate and prototype feature. When you get to the prototype stage, you're going to see the how you can actually animate your frames depending on what you are building, either a button, a a text field. It all depends on what you're building, right? So features for micro interactions, we have the animate smart animate between frames, prototype connections for over clicked and drag states, component variations for toggle switches, etc. We are going to get to that part. We talk about basic design system, so you understand design system as well and how it works, how you build a design system. So those are the part of the things we're going to teach you so that you understand how all these things works. All right. So what is this? This is best for early stage animation. Figma is best for early stage animation. At least we are beginners. People on this call are beginners. So Figma is your one to go to for now, depending on when you now want to move to higher calling, right? So it's best for early stage animation, transition effect, over effect, button interactions. So you can try this, animate a toggle switch or loading button using Smart Animate. The other one is prototype. Sorry, this is more advanced, right? But it's a powerful tool for advanced prototype without code. It handles gestures, sensors, and condition-based animation. They have features like drag and drop logic. They have voice sensor interactions. They also have conditional triggers. And this is best for testing real-world micro interactions like voice response or motion-based actions. Build a um, build a swipe to like interaction or drag to unlock animation. So you can also read on prototype. You can go to that. Sorry, prototype. I don't know why I keep saying prototype. Prototype. You can actually read it, but for now, I would say you should stick with your Figma. When you get to a stage in Figma, you can now start trying all out, so right. We call something Lottie plus Lottie files. So Lottie files helps you export lightweight animations and is built in After Effects as JSON file to use in real apps. So you don't have to like start creating animations in After Effects. They already like did something for you, right? And you can actually tweak it to what you want to build. So there's a plugin that we call Lottify on Figma. So if you add micro interactions to your design, it also, because you are prototyping it, so when they are using they get to see things that have been done. Then also you can do like a documentation or probably a note to tell them that when this is happening, this is what they see. And that's why we give them prototype, or we hand off what we have done. So regardless of, you don't have to wait before the developer actually code. Yes, your design should have your micro interaction and they get to see that, okay, these are the states. And sometimes some developers, even though you don't add like little micro interaction details, they tend to add it. So you don't have to wait for developers before you add your micro interactions. It's just something that should happen. You people should be calming down. Figma, let's explore Figma first before you start going to any framer or anything. One step at a time. Then others, we have other plugins. We have Figmotion plugin for keyframe animation in Figma. Then we also have feather icons for animated friendly icon set. These things are available on Figma. These plugins, you don't need to like start what's the word? Start stressing yourself and say you want to go on to After Effects to learn. After learning of After Effects, that's another learning on its own again. But there are already like resources and plugins that you can use already and tweak them to what you want to build without having to start doing something that will take you 3 days or 4 days. You already have access to it. So it's very, very important. So before we move to animation, right? Just can you, in your own word, can you tell me what micro interactions are? Or you can use something to talk about it, to picture it. Can we talk about before we go? We have like 3 minutes to answer. Let's, in your own word, what was like micro interaction, or what are micro interactions? Thank you, Tosin. Tosin says that micro interactions makes your product feel alive, feel responsive. Vincent says the little appreciation or keep going you get from the application. Thank you. Simon said there are little actions that happen once a user completes a task or do something, or when they try to onboard, depending on what. Isaac says that micro interactions are little details that give life to actions on a product. Colin says there are things that makes us excited while using a particular app or product. Gracie says that micro interactions are little actions that appear when you complete a task. Okay, that's one part. A simple task. Okay, let's have more people before we go on breaks. When we go on break, please take your attendance. We'll be back 10 minutes, in 10 minutes after. Victory says that you mentioned, okay. Yes, Figma can do, the way Figma is going, Figma can do it, like, you can do your user flow, your, like, different things. Yes, your product design stuff, you can do it on Figma. Figma is now like, let me, can do a lot of things with plugins, with now the other features they've added. So yes, yes, you can export After Effects. Yes, your Figma. Yes, that makes, yeah. So let's go on break. We're going on break in 1 minute. Okay, Dollar says that the little things that make you excited when using an app, which appreciation that triggers happy emotions. Yano says that they are the small subtle animation or responses when a user interacts with a product, which provides feedback and makes the product feel alive. Interesting. Thank you. All right, let's have more people before we go on break. Okay, so let's go. We're going on break in 10 minutes. We'll be back by 8:10. So please take your attendance. Take your attendance. Write your attendance. Or yes. So thank you. Hello, welcome back. How was the break? The short break. So let's dive in to the next conversation we're having. So, the second key ingredient for designing for user delight is animations. Animations. The first one is micro interactions. Second one is animation. I know some people be having in the mind that so what's now the difference? Don't worry, we're going to get to that part. Just sit and relax. All right. So animations, what are animations in design? So think of animation as little movements in an app or website that helps things feel smoother, clearer, or even more fun. In simple words, animations are like the friendly body language of your app. They show how something is happening, like your button bouncing, gently bouncing when you click it, or probably a screen sliding left when you move it to the next page. I know that some people have been wondering that. So what like, but it sounds similar to micro interaction. So don't worry, we're going to get there. So why do we use animation? Number one is that we use them to guide users, e.g., show what's just happened or what's coming next. Next thing is to give feedback, e.g., a spinner tells you something is loading. It's while another reason why we use them is to make it fun, like a little reward when you finish a task. All right. So examples that you have probably seen before. So let's say a scenario, you're switching tabs. Now what happens? The new tab fades or sliding. So you're switching from, for instance, let's say there are three tabs. There's the all tabs, there's the, for instance, let's use a shopping app. Maybe you're trying to buy some things. Now on the app, you get to see all products that that app sells. Then you now get to see the categories of the product, probably groceries or other things that maybe they sell groceries, they sell some other things. Then you get to see, or for instance, let's say this is a tab. You can switch, like you want to see all the items. Okay, item A, or product under item A, or product under item B, product under item C. Now when you actually switch your tab, there's like a sliding, there's a quick sliding that happens that you switch. The all will move while the A that you click will move in, or would, yeah, would like fade in basically. All right. So why it works, it helps you see the change clearly. So another thing is that when you finish a goal on Duolingo, what happens? You see Coberty animations appear. It makes you feel proud and happy. Another thing is that another thing is swiping through onboarding. Each screen flows smoothly, the onboarding screen. Maybe you, after the splash screen, then you see the onboarding, the three things that summarize the app for you. So when you move to next, or it swipes by itself, all right? So it feels natural as well. So let's see examples of, this is Duolingo. There's this animation that happens that goes round. This I am crown will be moving. It just happens. It shows you that, oh, you're acing this skill. Then it shows you. Then there's this loading that goes, it loads. But be careful. Not all animations are good. Some are just too much. Like when everything is bouncing, spinning, or dancing at the same time, the user is confused and wondering what's going on here. You have to be very careful, right? And also, aside that effect, it also will make the application or the website actually slow. It will confuse the users. It will feel annoying, and you're wondering why is everything dancing and bouncing and spinning at the same time. So don't do too much. For beginners, start small. Try adding animations to your button clicks. When you click on the button, there can be a bounce. When you are showing a loading screen, you can show like a spinner as it's going. That thing is an animation. That thing that is going around is showing you loading, or some of them are fast, that going like this, showing that something is loading. Or success screen, that maybe you want to show success. You will just do, instead of just popping the to your face, you can just give you animation and it just go. He wants to show you success like a mark. You can just go slowly and just draw it. So congratulations. Or a celebration, maybe things are popping and all that. So animations should feel like a friendly nudge, not a drama performance. You're not trying to be dramatic. It should not be dramatic. It should help you, not distract you. If it doesn't make the experience better, please, that's another thing. Yes, we want it. You want to build something delightful for the user, but actually, in the actual fact, if it doesn't make the experience better, there are some animations that are not necessary. I don't know if you have used apps like that or website like that. They are just not necessary. So leave it out. All right. So what is the difference? Because we've talked about micro interactions and now we've talked about animation. So what's the difference between these two, micro interactions and animation? Now I'm going to do like a recap. Micro interactions equals tiny reactions. So think of micro interactions like little yes, I've heard you. Little yes, I've heard you responses in your design. They help. They happens when you do something and the system responds quickly. It's a tiny reaction. It's different from animation. So for example, when you tap a little button and the art pops up, that is a reaction. But the funniest thing is that there's also an animation in it. So when you switch a toggle and it slides with a tiny snap, or when you enter a password and it shows you a green check that, oh, this is actually correct. I hope we are following and we are not confused. I'm here to convince you and not to confuse you that micro interactions and animations differ. Yes, they have their duty. Sometimes they are used together, but just for you to understand. Micro interactions are the small signals that say, I saw what you did, you are doing great. All right. Now, for animation, it's equals to moving stories. So animations are like smooth movements or transitions that make your experience more enjoyable or easy to understand. They show progress, they guide your eyes, or just make things feel less stiff. You are performing a transaction, or after you click on send request, then there's nothing happening. You're just wondering, is it going? Maybe it's not going. Now animation will help you show progress, that this thing is going, this thing is going. So example, onboarding screen that slides from left to right, a smooth fade, all this, you follow in that all these things you can do them on Figma. Like some of these things, yes, for beginners basically, but as you go advanced you can try to start trying other tools. All right. A rocket taking off when you finish all your tasks, that rocket that is moving, or a success message that is doing mark, or something moving from one place to another. Do you get? So animations are mood makers. They help tell the story of what is happening. This thing is in progress. It tells you the story that, oh, this thing is in progress. Oh, this thing is successful. It tells you, this is successful. I hope we are getting it. We are not like mixing animation and micro interactions together. Then also, yes, you're right, Smiling. Animations can also be used depending on the product we are building for. So let's compare. The feature happens, when does micro interaction happen, or when does animation happen? So for instance, micro interaction happen when a user does something small. Animation happen when a screen or element is transitioning from one state to another, right? Now, for the duration, micro interactions are very quick, just happen like a very quick, but animations can take like few seconds. Now, what's the purpose of micro interaction? For feedback and interactions. Why for animation is just to show you the flow, the emotions, and the guidance. All right. Example: micro interaction, at bounce when liked. Animation, a smooth slide between screens. From one screen, you're going to, you have clicked on something, then you're moving to another screen. There's this slide, you want to move from one screen to another screen. All right. So micro interactions in a nutshell are like polite nods. Animations are like someone walking across the room with style. So imagine micro interaction is just something, someone just like, you just nod politely. Then animations, now someone is now like catwalking with style. You can see that one is quick and one is, it takes like a few seconds. But both makes your product alive, but they do different jobs. I hope we are not confused, but we are convinced that both of them, yes, they work, they are good for your product, but they do different jobs. So let's go to the third key ingredient for designing for user delight: thoughtful design. Now, what are thoughtful design? What are thoughtful design details? So imagine using an app and it just knows that you need, imagine using an app and it just knows what you need before you even ask. Right? Now, thoughtful design details are those small caring touches that makes your experience smoother, more personal, and even a little joyful. Yeah, Etim. So when you click enter or send on a website and with the word loading, it's animation, like it's loading. All right. So thoughtful design details are those small caring touches that makes your experience smoother, they make it more personal and even a little joyful. They show that the designer thought about you, the real busy human using the product. In simple words, it's like when a good friend says, "Hey, I noticed you. I noticed you are tired. Yes, your favorite snack." All right. Examples of thoughtful design in action. So for instance, let's say scenario one, my first login. This is my first time of logging in. Now, a thoughtful design element will say, "Hi, Fola, let's finish your design today." Why does this matter? It feels personal and also welcoming. Now, for another scenario, maybe I'm filling a form and it auto saves my answer. That when I come back, so imagine, I don't know if that happened to you before. You've typed everything you've typed. There maybe something happened, network happened, or you closed that browser mistakenly, and you have done. Oh my God, you've written a lot of things. And you now go back. You cannot see anything that you have filled. Oh my God. I feel like for me at that moment, I will just first close it first and go and think about other things before I come back. But imagine that Google Form does it. For Google Form, if you filled something before and you go back, you will still you can see them, and all those when you say how do I explain this? So there are sometimes that you are typing a particular thing, but because you have typed before, it gives you as an option. I don't know if that happened to you too before. That is thoughtful design. Or telling someone to save their, those are thoughtful design. That you don't need to every time be writing password, Those are thoughtful designs, right? It actually saves time and reduces stress. I have filled a lot of things and I mistakenly closed the browser or something just happened and all that. I can go back and just type. Or imagine if you use Google Doc, or you are doing something online. If as far as you have internet, you don't need to go back and be typing save and be clicking save. You know those times then you will be clicking on, sorry, I use Mac. Okay, Control S, between Control S. You really don't need to do it. It just saves automatically. And for Figma is thoughtful. Guess what? You don't need to be clicking save and save and save as you are designing. As far as you have internet, and when you don't have internet, it tells you so that you know that this thing you are designing is not saving, so that you are aware. Not that you now design finish, you now discover that it's not saving. All right. So another scenario is no data yet. So a thoughtful design element you will see a friendly illustration and guidance. This is similar to UX writing to an extent. Like this scenario now, even like the thoughtful design, I believe is similar to a good UX writing. All right. So imagine that you go on maybe you are using a particular app and the next thing you see is no data yet. You're now wondering, data for what exactly? But imagine that you now see like a friendly illustration or an empty state illustration, and you also see guidance on how to add data or whatever thing you want to do. Or sometimes you can see no product yet, then you now see guidance, maybe an empty state product, then you now see click here to add new product. It tells you and gives you like a button. That is a thoughtful design. You're not just putting no data there and the user is wondering, so what's next? All right. So with this, you feel guided and not lost. You know what to do. Another one is no data again. Probably a thoughtful design element will be an undo button appears. Or even, you know that there are scenarios where mistakenly you click on delete, or even on our website or on our laptop, we are doing something, then you now delete it. You know, you can quickly do Ctrl Z, can quickly do it. So imagine that someone did not think about it, that people make mistake in life, and you mistakenly deleted something and are able to do Ctrl Z. Oh my God. So people thought about it. They were thoughtful in their thinking that people can actually make mistake, or they can mistakenly delete this. Now there's a scenario where you mistakenly click on delete. Maybe you deleted something. Then will now be there's some thoughtful design that will be like a pop-up where it shows you you are about to delete so thing. Are you sure about this decision? Then the user will read it very well. If the user now click on delete, but you have already warned the user. But imagine that the user clicks on delete, and that's all. Nothing can be done. How will that user feel? All right. So yeah, someone is saying that, talking about what Fumi and Yano about WhatsApp. That's interesting, really. It's really like to know that you mistakenly delete something, you can do undo. All right. Those are thoughtful design. Now, empty states done right. So let's talk about empty states. When you are designing, they're going to be empty. There are going to be screens that you have to do empty state for. For instance, your dashboard, when there's no data to show or display, You have to show empty state. How is it going to look? So, or for instance, you want maybe people can add products or add new users or add members. Instead of you showing no members added or no users added, that's all. You will tell them no users added. Click on the link or on the button below to get started or to add a user or to add a member. All right. So this small changes tells the users what to do next and make the product feel alive. They are aware of what they are to do. They are not wondering, okay, this is what you have said. It's just like you are advising somebody. Someone came to you for advice on something. Then you just said, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. Okay, what should I now do? No advice. And you're telling the person, don't do this, don't do this. Or probably a beginner or a designer comes to me and I'm reviewing their work and I say, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. And I'm not giving answers. Or imagine the Slido class we used to do. There is no answer to tell you what is correct actually. And you're just saying wrong, you missed it, and there's nothing. So in our design thinking, or when we're designing a product, we have to be thoughtful. All right, we have to be thoughtful. So a thoughtful product is like a friend who anticipates your needs before you even ask. Good design isn't just about buttons and color. It's about making people feel understood. Before you design, you need to have like a checklist of things that you want to design so that you carry everybody along. It's something inclusive. You're not building something that is for just whoever. You don't even care about the users. So you can see both the theory part and the design itself, they are so important. Everything works together. So it's very important that you build something that is thoughtful, something that is enjoyable. A good product is useful, is enjoyable, is usable, and equitable. If all these four things do not happen, then you've not built a good product. You just build something that, you just build it for fun. If the product is not enjoyable, it's not useful, it's not usable and equitable, that means you just build something for fun. So those four things are very important. All right. So beginners tips to add thoughtful designs or details. Greet users by their name if possible. Welcome Folashide. Welcome Elizabeth. Don't just say welcome. Like it sounds like just say welcome. Welcome what? Give clear next step in empty state or empty space. For places like no cart added, no product added, no user added, or no data added, don't just put something no added. Actually tell them what to do next. Give them a clear next step of what to do. Another thing is always show feedback, whether success or error or loading. Don't just, when the user perform an action, there's nothing to show for it. You not even tell them if it's successful, if it's go pre-loading, if you have received the response from the back end. You need to let them know all those things. When it's successful, when it's failed, you don't just leave users hanging or you go silent on users. Use kind, helpful language, not robotic commands. Don't go and show yourself as professor on the app that you're building, that people, you don't know who else will use that design or people that will use that. Even if you have a particular target audience, everybody has different knowledge of all that. We are indifferent in our thinking or how we understand things. Let users undo mistakes. Don't say what's my own. Whether they do mistakes, their own point or cup of tea. if users find out that if they mistakenly delete something, it cannot be done, they will look for alternative and say, what if I mistakenly, what if I didn't remember. So I hope all these tips are useful for us. So we are not just building things that look beautiful, but things that are functional. And functional means that things that needs to be involved. Your micro interactions, your UX writing, your animations, your thoughtful designs or details. Let users feel that you know them personally. Let them have that feeling that does this person know me? Does this person that kind of feeling? All right. So recommended resources. These are a lot of resources. There are videos to watch. I will encourage you write and watch videos on micro interactions. Watch videos on UI interactions in Figma using Smart Animate. Delightful design, designing delightful user experience by NN Group. Blogs and articles you can read. You can read what are micro interactions by NNG. That's in Designing for Delight, UX Collective, a beginner's guide to UI animation. All right. So check class checklist for designing for delight. So I've added meaningful micro interactions to important actions. So for instance, are my animations enhancing the flow or just for show? That's another thing you should consider when you're actually adding an animation or a micro interaction. So are my animations enhancing the flow, or is it just for show? You want to show yourself that, oh, I'm very good at animation, I'm a bad ass at animation, I'm very good, it's something I do. Or does it actually enhance the flow? The empty state basically is most times when, for instance, for new users, maybe uh maybe you're using Seller, for instance, or there's this, or I'm trying to remember, basically maybe Jumia, and you're a seller. Now when you log in, you need to like create product or hard product. Now if you click on my, for instance, my product, right, you get to see empty state, or empty, yes, empty state, right, that shows you no product added yet. Add your product, click on the button below to add your product. That's the empty state. It's until you add a product you now get to say, oh, you've added one product. But for a first time user, you always happen, most times happen with the first time user or someone that just log in and did not like interact with the app. I hope that's fine. So the second checklist is, did I use friendly UX copy that sounds human, not something that sounds robotic? Is there a helpful message when things go wrong, that is error states? So for instance, we're talking about it yesterday, that maybe an email is wrong and you just say incorrect. What exactly is incorrect or wrong? All right. Another thing is, have I added a personal or thoughtful touch, like hi Fola, hi Yanu, hi Olamide, that kind of thing? So all these are your checklists for designing something that are delightful, and there are more. So thank you. Let's have our questions. So let's have questions in like 10 minutes before we go do our class. Do we have any question? While we are waiting, let's do our class quiz while we're waiting. No, you know, you don't need to add a micro interaction when you're making a user flow. No, no, it's in your design. Yeah, the UX writer. Okay, please, let's start joining. so that after the test we can now talk about, so if you have questions, more questions, then also you take home assignment I'm giving us, so we just screenshot. But I just hope that we understood. Yes, you can design on a budget. Can I just hope we understood today's class. So let's start joining. I'm going to give us like 5 minutes, not 5 minutes, 1 to 2 minutes. Let's join. Just go to www.studio.com. Let's join. At least we have over 20. Let's have more people. I think we have a lot of people. So I'm going to be starting. I think we have quite a number of people. So but I'm going to be starting the test. Like, all right, let's start. So I'm starting. So first question. What does delight mean in UX design? Based on our understanding of today's class, me, I did not teach you adding a lot of features. Those in case those people that choose making interface. We didn't even talk about interface at all. Okay, let's review the answer. Classes are Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. Why are thoughtful design details important? Yeah. Because they show users you care. What is a bad use of animation in UX? What is the main purpose of an empty state message? To guide users on what to do next. Which of these is not a benefit of delighting users? What a thoughtful way to welcome users. I expect everybody to get this. Like everybody. Hi, Fola, ready to continue where you left off? What makes a good micro interaction? Which app uses delight effectively when completing a lesson? Sorry about that, Anita. Okay. Duolingo. The last question. What does Folashade mean by, that is, what do I mean by animation should feel like a friendly nudge, not a drama performance? Ah. Oh, wow. Ibukun, the first top five. Ibukun, Joseph. Oh my God. Well done to everybody. Well done to everybody. Well done. So this is our take on sorry, it could be your network. Sorry about that, Shalom. So take home challenge. You are designing a to-do list. Please take a screenshot. You are designing a to-do list for beginners. Your goal is to make the experience feel smoother, friendly, and delightful, not just functional. What you will do, you design 3 key screens. Low or middle fiddle is okay. The home screen, the task completed, the error or your edge state. So for the home screen, you show empty states if no tasks are added yet. Your task complete screen, you include micro interaction or animation ideas, depending on what you want, either micro interaction or animation, or the two. Then error or edge states, when a user submits a blank task or fails to save. For each screen, we should not shade network. For each screen, annotate with text boxes or sticky notes in Figma the following. Micro interactions, you've included e.g. checkbox animation, progress bar, animation, e.g. But I talk about Duolingo while I was using my illustrations. All right. Then also thoughtful design details, e.g. good job, Fola, you've completed 2 tasks today. Deliverables, a simple Figma file with your 3 screens, clear annotations explaining your design choices. 1 to 3 slides, that's optional, summarizing how you added delight. So thank you. Let's see, do anybody have any question before we go? Let's ask questions. Questions. Do we have questions? Let me see. How do you get the pro? I already added it to the link. I already added it to the link I shared in my the class on Tuesday. Like I said, it's for students and educators. Any other question? Are we good? Are we good? We still have like few minutes if you want. We still have like few minutes. So sorry about not joining. Then please always check your mail for information. For instance, the canvas. You need to go and check mail on that to know how to get onboarded. Read their instructions to follow. Please go do that. Make sure you're always checking your mail so that some questions can reduce. Check your mail always. If you don't get it on your inbox, check your spam folder to check for messages from Incubator up. Very, very important. Always check for your messages. Then very soon we're going to start talking about your final project and also the hackathon. We're going to get to that stage where we'll talk about it. So that document I shared, I'm going to update it with Figma tutorials you can watch to upskill so that because your final product, you have to do the UX part and also the UI part. That's what we do. We don't just do UI. We do case study, your case study, what's your problem statement, what's your solution, and all that before the design itself. So we are going to they're going to be grouped for the final project. So it's important that you start preparing yourself ahead. All right. I'm waiting for a question before we go. Please always check your mail so that we'll avoid unnecessary questions. Okay, I'm seeing a question. Let me ask you this question. So is there anything like a micro interaction that is too apparent or obvious, and is it good, or is there an animation, or is that an animation? People will say, before people will drag me that I like food, but anyways, I will still use food illustration. But I feel like that's like a good question, and you're already thinking like a designer. So let me explain this way. So micro interactions are like spices in your food, right? They add flavors, but they are not meant to take over the whole dish. Imagine you added one bag of salt in your rice. You're cooking 1 cup of rice, or you're cooking one easy Jamaica of rice. Then you now added one big, that big Dangote salt. You now carry it like this. You now pour it inside the rice because you want the rice to be. What will happen? That means that you have done too much. All right. So if a micro interaction becomes too loud or too long or too distracting, it is, when you say you are doing too much, please, you are actually doing too much. All right. So so it now, so is it good when it's too obvious? No, not really. But micro interactions should be clear, but subtle. They are not there for you to show off. You are not putting micro interactions for show off that you must be there, you need to be. No, they are not for show off, but they are there to help the user feel seen, feel guided, and comfortable. So I would just say that micro interaction is stealing the show. It's not doing the job. It's trying to become an actor in a movie, right? We want it to be like a supportive friend, not the star of the drama. There are two people. There's waka pass. Let me say, for instance, there's support actor, and there's main actor in a movie. All right, there are reasons for that. All right, so we want micro interactions to be like a supportive friend, not the star. You cannot add a lot of a bag of salt inside one dricker of rice. That's, you are doing too much. All right, so you have to be subtle about it. So the bottom line is that keep your micro interactions helpful, keep them quick and natural. If it feels too much, tone it down. All right, I hope we got that, and I hope we're good. So it's been a wonderful class today. I really enjoyed. So next class, we're going to start another interesting topic. So if you have started your journey, we are going to see it to the end. You started this, no going back, no turning back. We have started it, and we're going to see it to the very end. From we started from the beginning until the very end. So sit back, make sure you explore, make sure you um, keep reading, check out resources, but don't get overwhelmed. Have an accountability partner, have somebody you can talk to that you are to carry you with on your journey as a product designer. So please, if you are not turning back, you are not going back, you're going to complete it and become the very best that God wants us to become. So thank you so much, everybody. It's been a lovely time talking to everybody. So have a lovely, beautiful weekend. Rest well, keep learning, go out if you need to go out, call your friends, take your tutorials, and see you next class. Thank you, everybody. Bye.